equal benefits to everybody, right?
How are you going to accomplish that, though?
Well, you're going to accomplish that with universal basic income,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
You're going to
I
accomplish
like that
that with
idea. I like that idea.
yeah.
Yeah.
You're going to accomplish that with schooling, subsidies on schooling. I'm not saying free college or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying maybe subsidize if somebody has really good grades in high school, whatever, right? That's an incentive for them to get a good college education, and they're going to get subsidies and bursaries or scholarships. It happens right now. That's a socialist institution where students that perform above a certain grade level, they get scholarships and
Okay.
bursaries. I would extend that.
To
I would
how?
extend that to people that um, well, I would extend that to maybe I wouldn't say lower the grade point average or the GPA of students. I would say invest more in the infrastructure of education, right?
What is that?
I would
What do you
say,
mean? What does infrastructure of education actually mean?
well, we know that the U.S. educational system is fucked up right now, right? And the reason why,
Okay, yeah.
and the
Why are
reason
we
why,
talking about the U.S. educational system specifically?
well, because if you affect, if you change the educational system, you actually improve the input of information to human beings, right?
No, I
I mean,
don't. You got to be a little bit more specific. You seem to be going, you sort of
no, I understand. Yeah,
skimming the
you're
surface
probably
type of
right.
thing.
Yeah, you're probably right. But we have a consensus right now. Like almost everybody in the social media and everybody's saying that the U.S. education system is a shithole right now, right?
I don't know. I don't know of any education system that's thriving. So why is the
Do
U.S.
you think
education system any different from
do you think the
anywhere else?
Canadian do you think the Canadian education system is a good system?
I certainly well, it's better than the American. I'll tell you why. Because the Canadian education system doesn't give creationism a chance to be taught in science class.
That's
Forget about it.
exactly where I was going.
Oh, okay.
That's exactly where I was going. I was going to the southern states and these
Yes.
Bible Belt states, right?
Yeah.
That are actually eroding. They are producing people like Mr. Batman and Ken Hovind.
Yeah, but those
This
people
is
will just lose their place in the, they'll be expelled from the gene pool.
I don't care about the gene pool. They should be expelled from the education system at all. We need. This is what I think, Sydney. We need more. We need more people being encouraged going into the educational system of the U.S. than people going into Wall Street and these fucking investors. Because what Wall Street has become what capitalism has become, I would say, which is Wall Street, has become this magnet that pulls these people, these students, and they say, okay, I'm gonna go for an MBA, a Master of Business or whatever. I'm
Hmm.
gonna achieve that in maybe 3 to 5 years, and then I'm gonna go to Wall Street and become a hedge fund manager or some kind of financial manager, make $1 million before I'm 35,
Be careful
and
what you
then
wish for.
retire, right?
Everybody starts that road. Everybody starts that first step towards doing exactly that.
Yeah, but you have
How
this
many people actually reach retirement
yeah, but
by?
you have this brain drain. You have this brain drain in colleges and universities that are mostly coming from these creationist universities and these religious universities that are draining the intellectual substance from these people's brains, and they are saying this is the only option to achieve success in life is to go to Wall Street and become a capitalist.
Where do you get your information from? Honestly,
This is this is common economics.
how
If you
come?
look at
Then I must be so totally living under a rock because I don't know
listen,
what
you
you're
got to
talking.
look up this guy called Richard Wolff.
I don't.
Okay,
I know Richard Wolff. I don't have to look him up.
do you know what his economical policies are based on?
I think they're based on objectivism.
Right. What does he think the solution to immigrants coming from other countries to wealthier countries? Can you tell me what he thinks the solution to that is?
The solution to that is to don't have any restrictions. Let them all come.
That's wrong.
Okay, what do you say then?
You don't know Richard Wolff.
All right.
He's saying that any superpower country in the world, China, Russia, U.S., India. I don't think India is a superpower. But what is he saying is that these countries need to share their wealth with other countries. They don't need to be.
Yeah, but other countries are proven, like I said before, they corrupt. You
It
can't
doesn't matter
trust
if they're
them.
corrupt or not.
They
It
already
doesn't
we
matter.
are already sharing our wealth with other countries by giving out these international, billions of dollars to Israel every year and billions of dollars to Pakistan every year,
It
and
doesn't
money to
matter.
every single country for some sort of support or another.
It doesn't matter if they're corrupt. Not all of these countries are corrupt.
Tell me one
If
that
you look at
isn't. Show me one that isn't.
Well, if you look at Mexico, right?
Mexico doesn't get international support.
Mexico is closest to the U.S. border, but you look
Mex-
at all the other.
Mexi- Canada and the United States don't contribute a money to Mexico to help them with their hard times, like they do, say, to Burundi or who else have we got?
No,
Burundi
quiet,
or
man. Let me ask you.
Ethiopia or you
No,
name any country, Congo,
you
whatever.
don't know what you're talking about.
I know
Listen,
no one knows what I'm talking about.
let me ask you a question. Is Venezuela corrupt?
Absolutely.
Really? Is Honduras corrupt?
I don't know. I don't know Honduras.
I don't know. Is Brazil corrupt?
They seem to be, yes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is Panama corrupt?
I don't know Panama.
Is Uruguay corrupt?
I don't know Uruguay.
Is Argentina corrupt?
Yes.
Argentina?
Argentina.
Why would you say they're corrupt?
Because they have a really, really valueless currency, yet they have extremely wealthy people.
Well, Sidney, I think you're biased, man.
So the Argentine currency is stable, you think?
No, I think you are biased
I'm
when it comes
asking
to.
you, is the
No, no,
Argentine
no,
currency stable?
no. I'm asking you. You're biased to South American countries.
Why would I be?
Yeah, because you bought into the narrative of the right.
How can you tell?
Yeah,
How can you tell?
because you think that Venezuela is corrupt.
Yes.
You think that Honduras is corrupt.
I didn't say no. I said I don't know Honduras. You see, this is where people like you start to put words in mouths of people like
Sidney,
me.
that's not right. No, I'm not putting words in
I
your
never.
mouth.
I said I don't know Honduras. You can rack your brains and remember that I said I don't know Honduras.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that you're
So
lumping this
so
country.
you've already debunked yourself.
No.
Yes,
But you're
yes,
lumping this. No.
yes,
You're
yes,
lumping this. No, you're lumping these
yes.
countries together into something
You
that is
asked
created.
me country by country, and I gave you my answer country by country for those that I knew. And if I didn't know him, I told you so.
Okay, let me ask you: is India corrupt?
Mm, Um, oof. See, this is a degree because if India's corrupt, is Pakistan corrupt, right? Obviously, Pakistan is more corrupt.
Well, yes, I agree.
Okay, so it's yes, yes, and yes.
No, but Pakistan is not part of India.
I understand, but again, I'm trying to understand where do you draw the line at where's what is corruption, what's not corruption.
No, you made a general statement that the U.S. should not let any people in from corrupt countries.
No, I never said that.
Yeah, you did.
I should never. I said that what?
You said that the U.S. when I brought up
No, no.
the
Tell me what I said. Never mind
yeah
why and what
yeah
and when and
yeah
who.
yeah when I brought
What
up
did I say?
when I brought up Richard Wolff's economics, right? You said that I don't agree with Richard Wolff's economics, right? So I believe that
I
people
didn't
should
say
come.
I didn't agree with him. I said I agree with him on something that I mentioned. I said I agree with him on this and that. And then
No, no,
you went on to immigration and whatever. And now
yeah.
now you've just taken the two subjects, the two topics, the first one and immigration, and lumped them together so that anybody who's listening will get the wrong information. So
Well, but
that's not very
you said
that's disingenuous, my friend.
yeah, no, but you said that in order to solve the immigration problem, right?
I said let everybody in. Yeah, so then it's not a
Yeah,
problem.
that's exactly what you said,
Then it's not a
right?
problem, right?
Yeah.
Would you
So my
agree?
solution,
Would you
so
agree that if we let everybody immigrate who wants to, that it's not a problem anymore?
yeah. So
Okay,
then what
there.
I
So
said is
would you
that
agree that if it's not a problem, it's solved?
so
Yes,
then
you
what?
say.
No,
So
no,
when you ask me, how do you solve the immigration problem, and I gave you an answer that solves the immigration problem, you still won't accept it.
no. So then what I said is that if you accept Wolff's economic evaluation, I said that Richard Wolff suggests that superpower countries, like for example U.S., China, Russia, India, or any superpower country in the world, should share their wealth with other countries in the world, right? You
Dude,
said that
every
why
single country's in fucking massive debt.
yeah no so you said that why should we share our wealth with corrupt countries?
Yes,
That's what you
exactly.
said,
I did say that.
right?
Yes, yes.
So I brought up the scenario that is Venezuela corrupt, is Honduras corrupt,
Yeah, but we don't
is
give. We
Guatemala
hold on a
corrupt?
second. Excuse me.
But wait, you're
Excuse
putting all
me.
of
No,
these
you
countries.
you are you are
Wait,
you
wait.
no
No,
you
no.
you are saying to me that uh that the aid that we give to African countries is the same aid we give to Venezuela. We do not give
No,
any
no.
aid to
But you
Venezuela.
but you're
You know
taking
that
but you
very much, that nobody gives any aid to Venezuela. So why are you trying to put Venezuela into a category where I don't, where somehow I've said something that's inconsistent with the truth? Tell me how.
well, but you said that any country.
I did not. Yeah, I said we give money. We shouldn't give money to countries that are corrupt. That we give money to, because the money just goes to the top level elite. Okay.
Well,
Anyway, but
well,
with a Venezuela, are they corrupt? Yes, but we don't give any money to Venezuela. It doesn't matter that we do or we don't. They still corrupt.
well,
So
I
you,
disagree with you there.
oh,
I
well,
disagree with you
you
there.
disagree about what I said or what?
I disagree that you said we should not give money to countries that are corrupt, right? So I named a whole bunch of countries for you, right? Is it countries or states? Well, South America is a fucking continent.
Dude,
So
you just dug yourself a big hole. It's okay. Let's move
no,
on.
no, no. I said
Let's move
is
on to something
no,
else.
no, no, no. Is
Yes,
Guatemala?
yes,
No,
yes.
no. I
Let's
asked you a
move
question.
on. You asked me lots of questions. I've answered them, and now you're starting to ask me the same questions. You're starting to repeat yourself. So
I
I would appreciate just moving on to a different subject.
okay, fine. That's fine. That's okay. I'll move on
Yeah.
to a different subject.
What's next on the menu?
Well, okay. So what do you think about abortion?
I would never have one.
Obviously you would never have one.
Okay, next.
What if a female partner of yours got pregnant and you know it's your kid, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then after you go for an ultrasound
Mm-hmm.
or an examination, they find the kid is gonna have Down syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
Would you abort that kid?
Absolutely.
Really?
Sure.
Okay.
I mean, only if the. I mean, it's not up to me. It's up to the woman who's carrying the fetus.
Okay.
Not
But
up to
listen,
me.
but you're gonna pay child support.
Not to an abortive. To how can I be? What are you talking about? She said she's my
No,
wife or
no,
something.
no. If the woman decides to have the baby, right?
Yeah.
Say for example, the woman has
Yeah.
Down.
Oh, yeah then I'm going to pay child support. So what? Okay. What's your point?
Oh, okay. So are you okay with that?
Of course.
Okay, good.
It's still a human being.
Yeah,
Are you saying
okay,
are
fine.
you saying that Down syndrome babies are of some at some lower level than other human beings that are born able with full ability?
No, I'm
Then
actually
why
pro-choice.
why are you bringing this stuff up like that?
No, no, because I'm pro-choice.
Why are we two men talking about abortions that only women can have? It's got nothing to do with us at all.
Well, no, no, it does because it informs men.
Oh my God, you're a misogynist. You don't like women.
No, information is not regulated to genders.
You want to control women, don't you?
No.
Why not?
What did I just say? I just said information
No,
is not.
irrelevant. I said to you, from a humanist point of view, that the woman who from a bodily autonomy point of view, which I support, full bodily autonomy, it's up to the woman and her doctor and no one else. So
Okay, good.
I don't. It's not up to me or you. We shouldn't. I don't have an opinion on who the fuck gives me the right to have an opinion
Yeah.
on a woman's only issue.
Right. So that means you're pro-choice.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, good.
I'm pro whatever the woman wants to do. She
You're
wants to
pro-choice.
whatever she chooses. Whatever the
Yeah.
woman chooses is what I'm pro. Yeah.
So I'm pro-choice then as well,
All right. Good.
right? So there's no argument there.
Yeah, but again, it's a silly issue to bring up even because it's a woman's issue. Honestly, the only time it should be discussed in my view is when it's an all woman panel or if there's even one woman who wants to discuss it in this panel or in any panel. But other than that, if it's an all male, then there's no I just see no point in
No.
an all male.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you there, but we can be supportive, right?
We can be supportive
Yeah, can we?
of what, of who?
Of pro-choice.
So I thought you said you were pro-choice.
I am pro-choice, but we can support pro-choice people. Is that right?
No, we can support everybody. We can support people. Okay, because underneath everything, no matter what they are, they're still people.
So do you support pro-life?
Do I support pro-life? What does that mean?
Pro-life means that the baby was conceived and because of the Jesus and the Bible that you have to let the baby grow to be born.
Have you ever heard of Plan B?
I've heard of Plan B.
You
That's
know
a
what? Do you know what
contraception.
Plan B exactly? Okay, so you have sex with your partner, and the next morning you realize, oh shit, this is not my partner, my regular partner, or the condom broke, or whatever, and there's a possibility that the female might be impregnated. So you go over to your doctor, and she says, whoops, I think I made a mistake last night, and the doctor says, oh really? I hope you didn't hurt yourself. And then she says, ha ha ha. And he gives a prescription for Plan B. You go to the pharmacy, you buy it. It's a pill. You take it, and it's in sort of a the next day abortion pill.
No, I understand, but that's a pragmatic situation, right?
That's every
But
situation.
no, no, it's
Even
not
if
every
you like,
situation.
especially if you get raped.
No, no, there are some people that
Especially, listen to me very carefully
there
now.
are some people that would go about a month
Listen to me
without
very
knowing that they're
carefully.
pregnant.
If you get, listen, if you get raped, okay, you go and that should be a non-starter. You go and you get your Plan B pill. No ifs, ands, or
But some
buts.
people are not responsible like that.
Okay. So now we got to be okay. So what's your solution then? If
The
some
reason why they're not responsible is because they don't have access to these facilities that you're talking about.
No, I'm talking about those that do have access.
Okay, fine. So what about the people that don't have access to these facilities? What do they do? Do they go a month, and after a month, when they
No,
notice a bump?
those are the people that carry their babies to term.
Well, no, but that's
But what? Hello, Jill. Welcome.
Hey,
Good to see you.
Jill. Oh my God, you joined! Holy shit!
He's a regular. What do you mean? He's like a co-host.
Jill's a regular here.
Yeah,
who doesn't have access to Planned Parenthood?
exactly. I'm
Who
not too sure.
doesn't have access to Planned
Yeah,
Parenthood?
Yeah,
yeah. Who doesn't?
who
Well,
doesn't?
okay. What about the people in Texas?
Texas, they don't have a Planned Parenthood in Texas.
Yeah, but they just made laws not to do to disbar Planned Parenthood.
They never said you can't take a Plan B pill
No,
the
that's
next day.
that's not what the that's not what the decision was. But
What was the decision?
after a certain period or time, or 6 months, I think you can't have an abortion. It's a
After after,
crime,
after 6 months, right?
You
right?
shouldn't be allowed to have an abortion after like 24 weeks.
So what is the gestation period of an embryo or a fetus in 6 months? Of
There's three trimesters,
is
and
it a fetus? Is it an embryo? Is it a
there's three trimesters,
it's a
and if
fetus, right?
It's human. That's
it's
all that
It's
you
it's
matters.
human, right?
it's human in my view from the second trimester, where there's a possibility that it could survive outside of the womb if it needed to.
So Jill, let me ask you a
But during
question.
the first trimester, it cannot survive without outside the womb. So that's when you should have the abortion as soon as possible, right? Plan B is always the best idea because you always know that that you weren't protected when you wake up the next morning, and you always know that if you weren't protected, you can go to the Plan B. You should know. So
So
that
Jill,
should
let me
solve
ask
it.
you a question.
If you weren't protected, did you know you weren't protected?
No,
Or
no.
the
Why
condom
why
broke, or
Oh,
yeah, whatever.
no? Why did they set the threshold at 6 months? Why did they do that?
I think that there are some biological developments that would
I thought it was 6 weeks.
suggest that this is a barbaric
I thought it was 6 weeks,
act.
Jill.
Killing someone, murdering someone when they
Jill,
can
it's
actually
it's 6 weeks, not six
uh,
months.
feel pain and have a heartbeat. That's a sick
Yeah, but
practice.
it's
But
6 weeks, not 6 months.
right, which is sad. It should be a lot earlier than that. But hey, we'll
So
take it.
Jill,
We'll take it to save some people's lives, save human lives. We'll take it.
right? So Jill, so why wouldn't they set the threshold at conception?
Because the feminazi liberals are fighting tooth and nail in order to prevent that. They don't even
But
want to.
but
They
but
don't
but
even get 6 months. They don't
Those
even want
but
damn
that. They like to
liberals,
kill a
right?
baby when
yeah,
they're
but
8 months,
Jill,
9 months year old.
yeah, you believe that the threshold should be set at conception, is it right? According to the Bible, is that
Oh,
right?
right, yeah, of course.
Right. So whenever the sperm meets the cell or the egg or whatever, that's when
Human
conception
life
take.
begins. Yeah,
No, no, but wait a second. If you
that's according
understand,
to science.
yeah, but if you understand embryology, the sperm has to go through a lot of layers in order to deposit its sperm into the DNA of the egg, right?
Go through a lot of layers.
Well, there's a lot of layers in the female
That
egg cell,
fertilization,
the
they call it.
fertilization process, right?
Right. So it's not
So,
fertilized until the
so
egg is
yeah.
fertilized. Yeah.
Does the Bible say anything about fertilization?
Yeah. At the point of conception or fertilization, science says that that is a human.
No, I'm asking you about the Bible. What does
Uh,
the
the
Bible say about
the Bible
fertilization?
doesn't speak on the science. The science speaks on the science.
So is the Bible a science?
Embryology.
Okay, is the Bible a science book then?
No,
It's not a science book.
no.
So what is the Bible?
The Bible is redemptive revelation. It's a book about salvation, eternal, your eternal state, forgiveness, love, but it's not intended to tell us about embryology. We have embryologists for that. They tell us that life begins at conception, fertilization.
Yeah, but you know that the Quran talks about embryology, right?
Uh, Great.
Yeah. So is the Quran more accurate than the Bible?
No, no.
Why
It,
not?
it, because that's a non sequitur. It doesn't follow that because it talks about something that it's accurate about what it's talking about.
No, no, we're talking about embryology, right?
Right.
So it's not a non
So bringing
sequitur.
up bringing up something that it talks about doesn't prove that what it's talking about is valid.
Yeah, but it's not a.
If I say the birds can men can fly, I'm bringing something up. I'm making a statement about men flying, but it's not accurate.
But that's not a non sequitur,
Doesn't
though.
validate me because I bring up something. You saying, oh, they bring up embryology. So what?
But that's
Did
not
he
a.
get anything right? Did he get
But
it
that's
right
not.
or
But
wrong?
that's not a non sequitur. I did not
It
say
is a
non.
non-sequitur. They're using that
It's not.
as evidence that the Quran is more credible. It's not evidence the Quran is more credible.
Well, the Quran has a more detailed explanation of
Of what?
embryology than the Bible.
The Bible doesn't attempt to do it. You can't go to a book about calculus and say, "Oh, this history book has a better rendering of the Revolutionary War." Well, the calculus book never intended to display such history.
So what
It's a
does the
calculus
Bible?
book.
So what does the Bible say about embryology?
It doesn't say anything about embryology.
Okay.
All
So
it
why?
says is that the Bible, before you're born, I knew you. That God says that regarding several of characters or figures in the scriptures, Jeremiah being one.
Sydney, are you there? Sydney. Holy fuck, man. Okay. Yeah. So the Bible. I know that verse where the Bible says that. Okay, fine.
What's up?
Okay, but okay, but out. So the Bible
You were
says
calling
that.
me.
Huh?
You were calling
No.
me.
So the Bible said that basically God knew you before you were in your mother's womb,
Before you
right?
were born. Before you
Before
were
you were
born.
born.
While you were in your mother's womb. Yeah.
Okay. So at what trimester did God know that you were gonna be born?
But the scripture says before you were formed. So before you had a form, we would say
Oh,
probably in early on in the embryonic or uh, with the stage before the embryonic stage.
before you were formed. Okay.
Yeah.
So before you were formed, God knew the hairs on your head. Is that right?
He knew how many hairs you would
That's
grow.
kind of
Yeah.
silly. Nah, come on.
He knew how many hairs you would grow. Yeah, because he knows the future. He knows all things.
Okay, so where did that come from?
Well, how come he didn't put any of that stuff in the Bible?
He did.
Germ theory, how to male pattern baldness, stuff like
No,
that.
Sydney, I agree with Jill. The Bible does say that the development of the human being, and
Hmm.
God says that He will know the number of hairs that is on the fetus's head.
Oh, did God say? Is that in the Bible? I thought
Yeah,
I thought you were just
yeah.
making that up. I'm sorry.
No, no.
I'm sorry.
or how many hairs the baby would have if you wouldn't have killed it. The Israelites
You're brutal, brutal, brutal.
did you can read Leviticus, Numbers. We did. There are several passages which speak on the it's necessary to quarantine the sick, for example.
Hmm.
So there isn't this sophisticated, hygienic, or
Is
um,
aren't we talking about the Bible from
germ theory.
the all
But what you
knowing?
have
Why
is
not?
God instructing the Israelites to do certain things, which we determine the reason was in order to protect them from certain sicknesses and diseases,
Oh, please! And
So what? So what? So
how do
Jill,
plagues come in?
like
If
no, no.
bestiality, for example. Just Google zoophilia, and you'll
bestiality
find out
is
really
not a big
quickly,
problem in society.
how many diseases can result as or can be a result of doing that or practicing that.
So
Homosexuality as well.
Why do
so
you
Jill.
Christians go to the lowest common denominator when it comes to human behavior? Fucking bestiality. And then you imply that you get some kind of a STD and then you go spread it around the neighborhood.
No, 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 no,
What kind of
Sydney.
a
Sydney.
Homosexuality,
No, no,
bestiality.
yeah,
no, no,
what kind of a mindset do you wear?
Wow.
no, no, Sydney. I have a question. I have a question for Jill. So
Yeah.
which people in Judea or in that area was practicing bestiality?
Well, it was part of the cult. There were several sex fertility cults in the ancient Near East in those times. So
Fertility
practicing
cults. What's a fertility cult?
sex
Yeah,
fertility,
where did these fertility comes from? Fertility cults come from?
Babylon.
What is it? What does it
Oh, they came
mean?
from Babylon. Okay.
Well, it's the idea that they worship the male genitalia, you worship the female genitalia, and the idea with sex fertility cults, you you would practice sex
It sounds like
basically as part of
The
ritual.
Germans when they had their young ladies.
Sorry, I'm gonna get
When
a
they had
drink. Give
the
me a
hold on a
second.
second, the Germans had the young ladies meet with German soldiers and make Aryan babies. Did you know that? That was a big thing in early Nazi Germany.
Well, there were many myths about fertility, and you would um, either refrain or you would engage in orgies. You would refrain from intercourse, or you would just engage in
I would
orgies
I
in
choose
order
the
to
I choose the
appease the fertility
yeah,
gods.
I choose the orgy. I'd participate in an orgy in order to appease the fertility gods. I would
And
have no problem with that.
homosexuality was also part of these fertility
Well,
satanic cults.
that's the orgy. That's the orgy next door.
So God says don't do it, and then we learn science discovers or uncovers later the reason why he says it, proving that God is not capricious in his uh, commands and his
That doesn't make sense.
aversion
What do you mean?
to
Jill, I'm
Do you know
gonna.
what hold on? Do you know what capricious means?
Hey, can you hear me? Can you guys hear me?
capricious means that he just didn't do it just because he hates gays.
Hey, can you
We
guys
can
hear
go to
me?
science and
Yeah, we can hear you.
we
Okay.
could see why he said don't do this or don't eat that or don't have sex with other men with men having sex with men. We can determine that through science that's why he did it to protect us.
But Jill, you know that fertility was a ubiquitous system in the Mediterranean system, right? Because everybody wanted to be fertile. Fertility came from actually from the earth, whether the earth can produce products, right? So fertility was ubiquitous term.
What does that
Fertil-
even mean?
you mean fertility was everywhere?
Right?
Everybody want
That's exactly my point. And so
well,
were these
yeah,
fertility cults.
yeah,
So
but
were these
everybody
sex
wanted to be
fertility
fer.
cults. So
Yeah, but
why did you just ask me how many people were participating in this if you now you're saying that it was everywhere?
yeah. So fertility was
Okay, so
everywhere. So do you
why
think
did
that?
you ask me how many of these people were participating in these things? Practically all of them.
So, do you think fertility is a good thing or a bad thing?
I think it's a bad thing when you sacrifice children to the god of your fertility and you participate in orgies and homosexuality.
Oh
That's
my
what
God!
God
No,
said.
no, 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 no. Wait a
That's
second.
what science says.
You're talking
That's what
about
God says.
no. You're not talking about fertility. You're talking about kids that are already born and being sacrificed. I'm talking
Hmm.
about fertility. I'm talking about. You said that fertility is the ability to bring forth a life, right?
Yeah, reproduce,
Right.
sure.
So I'm talking about that. I'm not talking about the sacrificial because we know that the Israelites also sacrificed their babies, right?
And when they did, they were punished just the same.
How who punished them?
God punished them by sending the Babylonians to
Uh,
sack them,
Wait a
to attack
second.
them.
Wait, I don't
Yeah,
think so, man.
yes. As the
No, no,
scripture
no,
says
no, no, no,
explicitly
no.
that God sent the Babylonians to punish the Israelites for their practice in the fertility cult.
Oh, so the Babylonians were more righteous than the Jews?
Never said that, non sequitur.
That's not a non sequitur.
I said one attacked the other. I never said one was more righteous than the
No,
other.
when
Doesn't
you say
follow logically.
no, wait a second.
Logic is not your forte, is it?
No, wait a second. When you say somebody attacked another person, right?
Yes.
Why did
I
they
can
what?
attack you. That doesn't make me more righteous
No,
than
no,
you
but why did they attack the Israelites?
because God sent them to punish the Israelites for their atrocities.
Punish, right?
Yes, because of their atrocities. Yeah, it didn't stay. God didn't say these people are righteous, so I'm using them to attack you.
So was God on the Babylonian side?
He's not on anyone's side.
What?
God is not on anyone's side. God has no
The
respecter of
Babylonians are more
persons.
righteous than the Jews. The Jews are
Never said
sacrificing the
that. That's
kids.
your non sequitur. Never said
No,
that.
the Jews were sacrificing the kids on the
And
altar.
when the
We know that.
Babylonians were practicing things, atrocities, God punished them as well.
Yeah, but you just said the Babylonians conquered the Jews.
Yes, that is true.
That is
Yes,
that
Right,
nations will conquer other
that
nations.
is true.
right.
Yes.
So doesn't
What's
that
the
mean
big deal?
that whoever conquers the other is more righteous?
No, that's a false teaching,
So
probably
doesn't God?
from Rome. That's a
No.
Roman Greco-Roman uh, teaching. The God of the Bible doesn't teach if someone wins a battle, that's because they're more righteous than you.
Okay, so who
It's
stopped
not
the
what
Jews?
Scripture teaches.
Okay, so who stopped the Jews from sacrificing the kids on the altar?
Who stopped them? God stopped
Yeah,
them.
God.
Yes, by
And
punishing them.
and and and,
Yeah.
and okay, from
That's
who?
how you stop. That's how you stop murder. You punish
Where,
people who commit murder.
okay, but where did this God come from? Where did this God come from?
Where does he come from?
Yeah.
He has no beginning or no end.
I believe
Well,
he comes from Tennessee.
you just said the Babylonians conquered the Jews.
What? What does that got to do with where God comes
Oh
from?
my
You're all
God,
over the
Sydney,
place. You're all
Sydney,
over the
Sydney,
place, dude.
Tennessee,
Sid,
Tennessee or Kentucky.
didn't he just say that the Babylonians conquered the Jews for sacrificing their
Yes.
kids?
Yes, there was a punishment. God sent the Babylonians to punish the Jews for practicing for idol worship.
Right.
That's
So the
all.
Babylonians are more righteous than the Jews.
Never said that. That's your non sequitur, dude. Do you
Come
know what a
on,
non
man.
sequitur is?
It's not a non
It's
sequitur.
naturally
It's
not a
It
non
doesn't follow
sequitur.
it's
logically
It does.
perfectly in
that
sync.
because
It's
one
perfectly in
country conquers
sequence.
another, that that country is more righteous than the country it conquered.
It is perfectly in sequence. It's not a non
Sorry,
sequitur.
sorry, that's not how it works, dude.
Well, if the
Just made
reason
that
that
up.
they conquered the other country was because of the child sacrifice, then they are
Yeah,
more
and they were,
righteous.
and yeah, and God can use a heathen to punish you. He
Jill,
doesn't have to
Oh
Jill,
use a righteous
no,
person.
not a heathen.
A heathen.
Jill. Let me ask you a question, just to confirm.
He
Did
can use a thug, a Black Lives Matter thug, to punish me. That doesn't mean he validates Black
okay,
Lives
fine.
Matter.
Jill,
He'd just be having fun with
Jill,
you.
you're committing what's called presentism right now. Let's stick to the
No,
fucking.
no, Naz, you don't know what presentism
I
is.
know what presentism
No,
is.
you don't.
So listen,
I've never heard
let's
of
stick.
it. What? I've
The
never
point
heard of it.
is that you could use God could use even a pagan to punish anyone he wants to. That's
No,
what the scripture says.
Can you
no,
use it?
let's
It,
stick
just
with
because he uses you to punish somebody
Can your God use
doesn't
an
make you
atheist?
yourself good.
Can your
no,
God use an atheist?
It's a non sequitur.
let's stick with ancient Judea and
Let's stick with
Babylon, right?
logic.
So I want to ask you a question, Jill. Did the ancient people in Judea and Israel sacrifice kids on the altar?
Yes, and when they did, God punished them.
So God's chosen people, this is the chosen people of the Bible,
Mm.
the Israelites, right? They sacrifice kids on the altar. Do you accept that?
Of course not. The Bible didn't accept
I've
them.
never heard
God
of that.
punished
I've
them.
never heard of that. But then
God punished them as a nation.
Jill, come on, man. You just said that the people in Judea,
Hmm.
which were the Israelites,
Yeah,
and some Canaanites or whatever, they
practice.
sacrifice they
Yes,
sacrifice kids on the altar,
I
right?
already answered that, and God punished them. Yes. How many
Wait. No,
times are you gonna ask me the same question?
you didn't give
exactly.
me a clear answer though.
I
Did the
didn't.
did
I
God?
You
said
don't
yes.
iron. You don't
God
let
punished
you
them
don't let people
for.
answer, Iron. That's what's happening here.
No. You
Again,
Sydney, you did not understand my question. Did God's chosen people sacrifice kids on their altar?
I've never heard of that myself. I said.
So let him answer. That's my question.
God chooses Israel
Oh my God.
as a nation. That doesn't mean every individual in that nation is following God.
See?
You can be in America, but be a liberal and not be for what America stands for.
Yeah, I love it when you
So,
say
so
when you call people liberals.
you can live in America and not
You
Presentism,
could
look
be a
up the
liberal and have
definition.
a house and a picket
Look up the
fence.
definition of presentism, Jill. You don't know
Jill,
how to use the
you don't
fallacy.
know your history. I'm
You don't know how
sorry.
to use the fallacy.
You
So
don't
you,
know your
Uh,
history.
it's
I'm
called
sorry.
an analogy.
that's
You know what an
very funny.
analogy is?
No,
Joel, you're
So
hilarious.
you can be living in America and not be for America. You could have been living in Jerusalem and been part of God's people in the city or the state of Israel and not be part of Israel. Jesus
we
made this clear when he said, just because you're born of Abraham doesn't make you Abraham's seed.
yeah, but we have archaeological evidence that that Israelites in the province of I think I'm not sure what the province
Dude,
is,
I
but
already answered that.
You're not
Not
sure.
everyone
We
born
have
of
archaeological
Israel
evidence, but you're not
is
sure
let me
where it
finish.
Israel.
is. That doesn't make sense.
I've already
No,
answered that.
no, there was a province in oh, is it Chaldea or something like that? I'm not sure. Yeah, probably Chaldea.
Uh,
That these Israelite chosen people of God actually sacrificed their babies to God. We know that there's scholars that
Already
have
answered
actually.
that. Then God punished the nation for such things.
So how
I
did God
already
punish them?
answered that
Yeah, but how did God punish them?
by sending, in many cases, famine. Or and he would also send other nations to attack them.
You just said the Babylonians.
Other nations, including the Babylonians. Dude, how many times are you going to stay on the same topic? It's already been dealt with.
Okay, so
Move on.
who is God's chosen people? Is it the
God's chosen
Babylonians or
people
the
is
other
made up.
nation?
God's chosen people has always been made up of a complement of every tribe and every tongue and every nation, including the Israelite nation.
Oh, okay. So God
If you
accepts
knew
the
who
is.
the Israelites were, you wouldn't be making such historical blunder. The Israelites, although they were called the group or Israel, before they were compiled, if you will, they were different nations, a mixed multitude. They were from different nations, and God just called them into one nation. So picture an NBA franchise expansion team
Jill,
that can,
stop with the presentism. Okay,
it's not presentism, it's called an analogy.
I don't care
Okay, it's
about your
how you
analogies.
learn.
Can you?
So picture the 28 teams that currently are in the NBA. And then you have an
Oh my God.
expansion team, a 29th team, a new team. That new team gets to pick two players from each team. So Israel is two players from every nation, all combined into one nation. So when you understand that, you don't make the mistake of saying, "Oh, God favored this group over another group." The group that God favors are not based on, or the basis for him favoring is their obedience. That's the basis. As soon as they disobey, they are punished, they are chastised. Okay, doesn't matter who you are, where you're from.
Okay, so how many nations of Israel were there?
Israel is made up of many nations. Abraham would be from what later would have been determined to be a Gentile nation. He was
No,
from
no,
Ur,
no,
a
no,
pagan
no,
land.
no,
His
Joe.
father was a pagan king.
No, you're wrong.
Abraham was a pagan. He was a Gentile.
Israel had 12 nations, Jill.
And they are Abraham's seed. They come from a pagan line.
Where does this pagan line come from?
Abraham.
Where does Abraham come from?
Abraham comes from a pagan land. His father was a pagan king
Where? In what what
in the
what land?
Chaldeans.
No, you're wrong.
Ur of the Chaldeans.
No, Mesopotamia.
That's where Ur of the Chaldeans is.
No, it was in Samaria or Acadia.
Right, Mesopotamia. Yeah, exactly. It's a pagan land.
Right. So Abraham came from there and established a Jewish, well, actually, he came back to his Jewish state that he left, right?
He wasn't. There was no such thing as a Jew before Abraham.
That's correct.
This is Genesis, sir. This is very early on in the
That's
Bible.
right. That's right. You
Well,
gotta know
yeah.
your history and your mythology.
Well, yeah. Okay, so Abraham came from Mesopotamia. Obviously, there were no Jews,
Right. Everybody
right?
that God called to be a Jew
Abram came from Ur.
Yeah,
was because of they all had in common. The only thing they had in common was their worship of Yahweh. They were different races. They were different races, if you will, quote unquote,
right.
different tribes. The only thing they had in common was their worship of Yahweh.
So then the Jewish religion started with Abraham. Is that right?
Yeah, calling God calling out a people to Himself.
So what did
Yeah,
the Jews say? What did the Jews say there? How their religion began?
I really don't care. They
You don't
point to Abraham as well, but
you
what
don't care?
they point to Abraham. I'm sure.
The Jews wrote the Old Testament, and you don't care?
The Jews wrote the Old and the New Testament.
The Jews never wrote the New Testament.
Yeah, actually, they have.
Yes, they
Matthew was a
did.
Jew.
Yep.
Well, no, the New Testament it was written by the Greeks.
No, they spoke Greek.
No,
Because of the Hellenization of the Jew, they
no,
spoke Greek.
no. Most of the New Testament
That
was
was
written by
the lingua franc. It's called
right, right.
of
That's
the
right.
day. So that
Most
didn't.
of most of the Old New Testament was written by Paul.
Paul was a Jew.
Paul was a Jew Greek.
Okay, he was born in Rome, right? He was had Roman
No,
citizenship,
he
but he
was
was a
not
Jew.
born in Rome. He was
Paul
born
was
in
born in
Tarsus.
Abraham.
Tarsus.
Look,
He
you
was
make
born in
the point
Tarsus,
is
which is
mute
He was born in
no,
because
Tarsus.
Abraham
Do we
was
have
not
to
born
do
in
we have to
Jerusalem.
correct? We got to correct the Bible for you, Jill?
no. Paul was born
Abraham
in
wasn't born in Jerusalem. What's the point?
no. Paul was born in Tarsus, which is Anatolia, which is Syria.
And what's your point?
So
You
Paul
don't have
was
to be
not.
born in Jerusalem to be a Jew.
So Paul
Abraham
was
wasn't born in Jerusalem.
no. Paul was in between the Jews and the Romans. He was born a
He
Jew,
was a Jew. Yes.
but then he became a Roman.
No, he became a Roman citizen.
He became a Roman citizen, but he never forgot
Right.
his Jew. I agree with you
He's
there.
a Jew. Yeah. Paul was a Jew. The Bible is written by Jews, both Old and New Testament. And
Yeah.
then
So
you have Gentiles like Mark,
yeah.
who was just a scribe. He was writing for Peter, who was a Jew.
You don't know. You don't know who Mark was. Stop bullshitting.
Okay, that's fine.
No, nobody knows what Mark who Mark
That
was. Okay,
that's according to the legend, we'll say.
according to what legend?
The legend of Christianity.
There's no legend of Christianity. What are you talking about?
Okay, that's fine. We're talking. What are we talking about? We're talking about Christianity. Now it doesn't exist.
Yeah, but well, but there's no
Where did it go?
legend of.
Where did it go?
The story of Christianity. That's all. Legend. You can call it whatever you want.
But
It exists because you're talking about it.
your legend of Christianity came from the Jews.
And the Jews
The
got it from
Jews,
the Persians.
Jesus
That's
was a
right.
Jew. Jesus was a Jew
I
himself.
know. Yeah.
So what's your point?
So your legend of Christianity is Jewish.
No, it's
Jesus was
Persian.
a Jew, yes.
It's Zoroastrianism.
Yes.
Great. And we're Jews. Christians are now are
There you
Hebrews
go.
Yeah.
Everybody group hug. We're all
because
Jews.
being a Jew had nothing to do with your genealogy, as I just proved with Abraham.
Jill, you know that you believe in Christianity that came after Constantine?
No,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
Constantine came 300 years later after
Well,
Christianity
no, no.
had already.
Let me rephrase that. Let me rephrase that. You believe in a Christian theology that survived uh, the the um, the changes
What
that came,
changes?
the changes of emperors,
Hmm.
the changes of society that came and culminated in the rule of Constantine.
What's your point?
That's what you believe. So
And you
so
believe stuff that has survived for 40 different presidents. You still believe in the Civil War, even though it survived Abraham Lincoln and from him on. What's your point? This is
what
just
my point is
pointless.
how did Christianity punch through this
How?
the no, let me ask you, let me finish, okay? Quiet for a second. How did Christianity punch through the veil of Catholicism? How did they get through that?
What do you mean punch through the veil of
Well,
Catholicism?
Because Catholic
we all know Luther, and then it just sort of
Well, yeah,
the
you had Reformation.
Reformation, right? Yeah, we know all that.
And before that, you had many Christians speaking out against the Catholic Church, and they were subsequently killed.
That's right. The fucking Catholic
well,
Church were ruthless.
yes, we know
Again,
the Catholic
if
Church.
you're a heretic to the in the Catholic Church, you're dead, buddy.
Yeah. So even through that, God always kept a remnant. God kept a remnant through the Roman persecution very early on in the church.
What's the
In
remnant?
the first, well, he keeps people survivors, if you will. He doesn't allow the church to just die out of the persecution. He always keeps
You know what, Jill? I'm really surprised as a theist. When I mention the word veil, I'm surprised that you would not go to the death of Jesus Christ on the cross and the veil of the temple being torn in half, right?
them.
That just shows that you don't know your theology.
Well, the veil being torn in half has to do with the Christ atonement, which is a spiritual reality, which the scripture says the natural man can't understand.
No, but that was the beginning of Christ, wasn't it?
That was the beginning of Christ. No,
Didn't
that
Christ?
occurred during during the crucifixion.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
didn't Jesus tore the veil in half?
Right, which signified that we now have unfettered fellowship with him. In
Okay,
the Old Testament, before you could enter into the holies of holies, there was a veil that forbid you from going in. Only the priest could enter into the holies of holies.
exactly,
So,
and that's exactly what the Catholic Church started.
well, yeah, they put the veil back up again
That's right.
and put themselves behind the veil as to the
That's
Wizard
right.
of Oz,
Yeah,
and no one can see who the leader is
yeah,
unless you pay tenants or uh,
yeah. And
yeah.
then
So
when yeah, and then when Luther came along and he nailed his 98 theses in the door, he actually tore the veil back open, right?
no, the veil has
He did.
always been open for those that were the remnant, for those who that God was protecting throughout all of these apostolic
No, no,
movements.
no, no, no. You don't understand what Luther did. You don't
Luther
understand what he did.
Luther just made it official, but there were Christians. You don't think there were Christians before Luther
No, no,
who
but you don't
believed the
understand.
same?
Yeah, but you don't
Maybe who just
understand what
didn't
Luther
have
did.
maybe who just didn't have the influence that Luther had. But there were Christians before Luther who were calling out the Roman Catholic Church for exactly what they were,
Yeah,
fraud.
but Luther on his theses actually went against the Catholic Church when it comes to divorce. When
Amen. And you don't think there were Christians preaching that before Luther,
no
and
no when
probably
Luther
were
nailed
killed or silenced or jailed for
no
their
no
speaking out?
when Luther nailed his theses on the door of the Notre Dame Cathedral,
Mm.
the King Henry the Eighth or whatever, he was on his second wife by now. He said that okay, I'm gonna follow the Lutheran doctrine from now, and it's okay for me to get divorced from my second wife and marry my third wife. This is what happened with the Protestant Revolution. They gave people more freedom, liberalism, dare I say, liberalism from the Catholic Church.
Well, the scriptures never give you, and neither did Luther give you permission to marry two and three wives. You could get divorced in scripture. Paul does give us uh, divorce, rules for divorce, and when you can get divorced. If the husband or the wife is unfaithful, you can divorce your wife. So, if the only way he'd be able to justify his divorcing and remarrying is if he can demonstrate that the woman was unfaithful.
Oh, so it was all up to the woman.
Well, in this case, it's a male, so the woman it would have to have been unfaithful in order for him to biblically justify the divorce.
So what if the man was unfaithful?
Then she would have biblical grounds for divorce.
Oh, are you saying that it's egalitarian?
No, the idea was is that when you're sexually active with another spouse, you become one with another woman, other than your spouse. You become one with that other woman. So you're married to that other woman now. So at that point, the wife or the husband can leave. That's abandonment.
Okay, so what was the Catholic Church's doctrine on adultery?
I have no idea. I can
You
care
don't
less.
what? What is the Ten Commandments ideology on adultery?
Thou shalt not commit adultery.
Right.
Okay.
So do you think the Catholic Church adopted that doctrine?
I'm sure they actually adopted the Ten Commandments, but they actually changed one of the commandments,
Which one?
the second commandment. They
Okay,
erased
fine.
it. Yeah,
Okay, fine. But they kept the commandment about adultery, right?
sure. Yeah,
Okay. So when Henry VIII committed adultery, right? And
he commit.
he was part of the Catholic Church,
uh
right? What is the penalty for adultery?
The penalty for adultery.
Yeah.
I have no idea whatever the law of that land was. I don't know.
No, based on the Ten Commandments, it says you shall not commit adultery, right?
The punishment for adultery in the Old Testament is death.
It's death, right?
Yeah.
So do you think Henry VIII wanted to die?
Should he have been put to death?
No, no. Did he want to die, being the King of England or whatever?
The Old Testament, the punishment for Old Testament or breaking Old Testament laws does not cross over into the New Testament.
So was Henry VIII a heretic?
I don't know. I don't know what his theology was.
Did he break the Ten Commandment? Oh, sorry, the commandment for adultery. Did he break that?
If he committed adultery, sure.
Yes. So then, was Henry VIII put to death?
If we're not under a theocracy, but I don't know what the rules were.
So
I'm sure he could break the rules since being the king.
right. So what do you think Henry VIII did? Because he was a Pope
Um,
follower. He was
I
a
really
Catholic.
don't care what Henry VIII did.
Yeah. So what?
We defend the Bible, not
No. So
Roman
when
Catholics.
No, so when Martin Luther came about, right? And he said, "Okay, listen, I'm going to go against the iron fist of the Catholic Church because the Catholic Church obeys these 10 commandments of not committing adultery, and adultery is punishable by death." So Henry VIII actually went to Martin Luther and probably said, "Oh, can you promote this shit so I can't get killed?" And then he married his third wife after that.
I'm not sure what.
Well,
First of all, there's no punishment in under a theocracy. We're no longer under a theocracy. They figured that out in the first century before Rome.
exactly. So
So why are you
Martin
bringing up the death penalty
no,
for
so Martin
adultery?
Luther actually broke the theocracy of the Catholic Church. He actually broke it.
They had a they weren't supposed to have a theocracy.
The Catholic Church had a theocracy.
Well, they weren't supposed to.
I don't give a shit if it was
That was
supposed to.
that wasn't that wasn't what the Bible teaches.
I don't care, but they
So
had a
he was supposed
theocracy.
to break that along with other
No, the
atrocities.
Catholic Church had a control of the land.
They weren't supposed to. That God never called them
I
to do
don't give
that.
a shit what
Well,
it's
then it's
supposed to
not
do.
breaking anything. It's
But
going back to what God says we're supposed to
no,
do,
no, but that's
back
what
to the
they
first
but
century.
that's what they did. That's what
What
they
do you mean
did.
they did? He went
They
back to the original church the way it was set up in the first century.
the
I think the
Catholics.
Catholics made it 300 years after the first century.
Yes. So what does the Catholic doctrine say when it comes to
The Catholic
adultery?
doctrine came 300 years after Christianity has already been established and perverted what Christianity established.
What does Jesus say against adultery?
Don't do it. Not commit adultery.
Where's the verse for that?
It's in the same verse that you read earlier. Thou shalt not commit adultery.
Are you
Exodus.
oh, that's Old Testament.
Yeah. Yeah. Jesus is Yahweh.
Did Jesus say anything in the New Testament against adultery?
I believe he may have. Yeah.
Like what?
He talked about looking at a woman. You could committing adultery in your heart. So
So he said, okay. So
yeah,
let me. So we had this verse from Jesus that said, when you look at a woman with lust,
yeah.
right?
You commit
Just
adultery in
look,
your heart.
just look at them. You can just look at them, right?
Yeah. You
And
commit adultery in your heart. Yeah.
so he says that you can just look at them, not even think about what you just looked at.
Well,
You
the
can,
idea was that you're lusting or you're desiring the
like,
woman.
you don't know that a person can just look and not
Well,
lust.
God knows that.
What?
He's speaking as God. God knows whether you're looking just did you somebody walk past your vision, and whether you're lusting. I think God knows the difference.
But what if I look at a girl and I say, oh, she looks really good? Is that
Well,
lusting?
again, there's a difference between lusting and just saying, "Oh, she's got a nice dress on."
What if I look at a girl? Yeah, exactly. What if
Yeah.
I look at a girl and I say, wow, I really like that outfit she's wearing?
Well,
Is
it
that
depends on the outfit.
is that lusting?
If the outfit is skint is barely with anything on, a skimpy bikini or something, then obviously you're lusting after the woman.
Okay, okay. Sorry, I think we got derailed from the original conversation. Uh, what was the original conversation? Can you remind me?
It was
I
so
don't
long. It
know.
was so far back. Nobody can remember.
You just had a bunch of questions about nothing.
Yeah,
Well, no,
I
I
think
think
I think all your questions were answered adequately. Don't you?
who you talking
You?
to me?
Yeah,
My questions were answered adequately.
yeah.
But
Really?
I really came in here to find out why a woman has to be present when abortion is being discussed. Why aren't we men? Can't
We
we discuss abortion as
not
men?
not really. It's not our.
Why not?
It's not our business. That's why.
Wait. Babies, whether they live or lie or live or die,
Women.
is not our business. Children being killed, that's not our business as men. You
Well,
serious?
that's not what the discussion is. So Can you
Well,
start it? Can you try again? Try again.
are humans being killed?
Try again.
Are humans being killed? Yes or no?
It's about the women, not. It's about the women.
Uh,
Let's stick to the women. Just
well,
stick to
I'm
the
asking, yeah, the
women.
women. Yeah.
No, yeah.
Are humans being killed?
No, stick
Well,
to the women.
what
Stick.
trimester? What trimester are
No,
you
no,
talking
don't
about,
go
Jill?
there. Iron, don't fall into his trap.
Are
Stick.
humans being killed? Yes or no?
Stick to the. Stick to the. It's not an issue
Are
that
women killed? Are women being killed? Yes or no?
I don't
Woman,
know. I don't
woman not
know.
being killed.
I don't know.
Women are
I
being
don't
killed
have
before they're born.
knowledge. It's not my issue.
So we don't care about women being killed before they're born.
You,
Not women. What are you
So
talking about?
well,
Women.
exactly. What
men can't
he's talking nonsense.
men can't speak out about humans being killed. What kind of man are you?
What kind of man am I? I am a man who lives above you because I live in Canada and you live down in the pits of the United States. That's what
What
kind of
kind
a
of man
man I am.
doesn't stand up for children that are being
I
killed?
stand up for women's bodily autonomy over everything.
So why does a woman have to be present when you're discussing abortion?
Because she'd be the one, she'd be the reason we'd be discussing abortion.
She would be the reason. So we can't
Yeah.
discuss abortion without the woman present.
Well, yeah, because she's going
Yeah,
through the
yeah,
abortion.
because it's none of our business. Unless you're
None
discussing
of our business.
abortion in terms of, what it is, and I don't know. I can't think of a reason, but I would have no reason to
It's
discuss
none of our
abortion.
business.
Yeah,
So
I would have no reason to discuss abortion personally.
so women can't discuss prostate cancer. It's none of their business.
What do you kill? What does prostate cancer kill? What kind of baby does prostate
I don't
cancer?
think.
Hold on,
I don't
hold on,
think.
hold on a minute.
I'm trying to figure out
What?
why that's only
Hold
a
on a
woman.
second.
Why
What
it's only
type of
women's business.
baby? What type of baby does prostate cancer kill?
What?
Abortions
Kills
kill.
male babies.
Abortions
Kills
kill.
male babies when they were older.
Male
So
babies and they're
so
older.
why can't men discuss without
Ah,
the
okay,
presence of a
troll,
woman abortion?
troll,
I'm
troll.
confused.
You
What's the
you
rule
should be.
that we
Good.
can apply to
Listen,
both men and women?
it's not a rule. It's just a rule in this in
It's a
this.
rule.
It's a rule in this channel.
Oh, it's a rule on this channel. Yeah, I
Yeah,
know. Liberals often make up
you know
rules
how
that have no
autocratic
basis.
I need to be.
Liberals often make up rules that have no basis in reality.
O-
Here's
Often, yeah,
another example.
they do often, but I'm not a liberal.
Men can't
Uh,
talk about abortion.
Can I ask you, Jill, am I a liberal?
Silly.
Really?
I had one coward atheist. He happens to be black, but he's an atheist. He was afraid to debate me, and he
Bullshit, I
required.
don't believe that. Who? What's his
His
name?
name is Carlton. He required a woman be present because we're talking
Carlton.
abortion.
Oh,
What a
Carlton,
coward!
that name. No, that's not Carlton. It's
I know
Carlton.
Colton.
Yeah, Carlton. He's on Peter's channel sometimes. He's a coward.
I don't
I
know
have
Carlton.
to. A woman has to be here so before I can speak as a man. What a coward!
and you lump me in with that kind of a guy,
Because you're
liberal.
the same. You're the
Oh,
same. You're cut
oh,
from
I'm
the
the
same
same.
cloth.
Okay.
Yeah, both of you.
Well,
Cow
I'm very proud to be a supporter of women,
supporter of
supporter
women
of
killing
supporter of
children.
women's rights and full bodily autonomy.
Hitler would
Yay,
be proud.
yay, woman.
Yeah, Hitler would be proud. You support
Hitler?
people who kill
Hitler would be
humans.
proud. Whoa! What do you mean Hitler would be proud? Why you're talking about Hitler? You've
You
just
support women.
you've just uh, proved Godwin's law.
You support women
You've just
that kill
proved
humans.
Godwin's law. Did you know that?
Well, you support women that kill humans. So I wouldn't say. I would say Hitler, Mao, Stalin. All of them would be proud.
I think Hitler, Mao, Stalin had an agenda.
Yeah, and so do you.
Yeah, the agenda though was
So
not
do you.
the
In
agenda.
So do
football,
you.
Jill, that's
No,
called a
no,
fumble.
no.
Different agenda, but an agenda nevertheless.
I don't think the agenda was atheism though.
The agenda wasn't. I don't think it's atheism
No,
now.
the
It's
agenda was
killing
to kill
babies.
babies as many as possible.
That's
Okay.
the agenda.
Yes.
Kill humans.
Kill as
No.
kill
Atheism.
humans. There you go.
Well, but
That's
Agenda.
the.
yeah,
That's
but
what they both
atheism is
have in
not an
common.
agenda.
I never said it
Atheism,
was. Killing children is the agenda.
Yes.
atheism,
An
atheism is
atheist
not the
an
agenda.
atheist
I
kill
never said
children.
atheism was the agenda.
Atheists kill children,
Killing
don't you
children
know?
is the agenda.
No, atheism is not a
He's
agenda.
just repeating himself again. I never said atheism was a agenda or an agenda.
Stalin, Mao, and Pol Pot were dictators, man.
And so was the liberals in Washington D.C. So is Joe
No,
Biden
Oh,
just
with his
give
like
us some
media,
names. Oh, Joe Biden? Really?
with his vaccine
is.
mandate.
Really?
Where are his
Is
killing
Joe
fields?
Fascist.
Biden's a dictator?
Where are
Are you
Joe
Yeah,
serious?
he's
Biden's
a
where
fascist.
are
Really?
Joe Biden's
He's a
killing
fascist.
where are
Liberals
Joe
are fascists,
are
yes.
Oh my God.
where are Joe Biden's killing fields?
They
Trump was the
proved it.
fascist,
They
my
proved it
guy.
in you want his killing fields? Look at Afghanistan.
Trump
Plenty
is
of
the
dead bodies
fascist.
there.
What you
Trump
talking
is the
about? He got us
fascist.
out of Afghanistan
Plenty of dead
seven
bodies there.
months, 7 months into his presidency.
Yeah, and abandoned Americans as well,
Trump
Well,
wanted
listen,
to
if Americans are dumb enough to go to
leaving them
fucking
to die.
Afghanistan, if they're dumb enough to go to Afghanistan, they're dumb enough to suffer the consequences of
Yeah, yeah,
unpredictability.
right.
well
Yeah,
It's
Trump
their
yeah,
fault.
Trump
It's their fault. Yeah,
the thing is though
absolutely,
that
their
Trump wanted
government
absolutely.
to
left
They
them
if they'd
behind.
stayed home in
Therefore,
within the
the government
borders of
left
the
them
United
behind.
States
Yeah,
and not
can you guys hear
try
me?
to be clever and
hmm
whatever they went to Afghanistan
yeah.
for.
Therefore, the government left them behind, and then also left weapons for the army that's going to kill them. In order, that's their fault. That's all their fault. Yeah, not your president's
Trump
fault.
the thing is though that Trump wanted to overthrow democracy in the United States.
Yeah, I didn't see any proof of that in the 4 years that he was here.
Yeah, he
Uh,
did.
Trump
Yeah.
wanted
I
to
didn't see
overthrow
any proof of that.
democracy. What are you
You
talking
don't have any
about?
proof
What are
of
you
that.
talking about? January the 6th?
January the 6th? That had
Yeah.
nothing to do
You
with Trump. That's already been debunked.
The insurrection?
January this what
There
is
was no insurrection. There wasn't one person that was
there was
charged
no
with
liberals
insurrection.
there. There were all liberals there, right?
What?
How many people were charged with insurrection at your
Yeah.
insurrection?
Oh no. It was BLM and Antifa that was
How
there.
many people were charged with insurrection at your insurrection? How many people were charged with insurrection?
all I care about is this guy, the fucking
All you care about is
QAnon
MSNBC.
shaman.
How many people were arrested for insurrection?
Yeah, no, the QAnon shaman got 3 years in jail.
Mm. How many people was he arrested for insurrection?
Yes, he was.
Can you prove that?
Yeah.
Show me his arrest record. Show me insurrection on his arrest
Go
record.
to the FBI. He was
I've been
arrested.
there. He was
He's
not
in
arrested for insurrection.
he's in jail right now.
He was not arrested for insurrection.
He's in jail right now.
Was he arrested for insurrection?
He was probably arrested maybe for no, it was probably anti-patriotism.
How many people were arrested for insurrection?
No, they were
The
arrested
the
for
answer the answer, sir, is zero. So why are you still using the term insurrection?
no,
Because
they
that's
were
what you've been
arrested.
brainwashed, conditioned to believe. Not one person of the 500 arrested for walking into an open Capitol, not one of them were charged with insurrection. You've
Well,
been
they
bamboozled,
no
sir.
no, they were arrested for domestic terrorism.
So now it wasn't an insurrection; it was a domestic terrorist attack.
Well, it was
Okay.
both.
Oh, it was both, right? Yeah.
There were multiple charges.
Not one of an insurrection.
There were multiple counts.
Not one of an insurrection.
Yes, there was.
Name one. Name one count of insurrection, and who was charged.
I don't know. Willie
Yeah,
Bobo.
you couldn't prove that. Why are you repeating talking points from the View?
So why was the QAnon shaman arrested?
I have no idea. Trespassing. Most of the charges were trespassing.
Oh, really? So
This is
for
hilarious. You
he
know
got
that,
3 years for
guys.
trespass.
Yes.
You know that the
Yes.
two of you. This is hilarious.
Yeah, because they're Trump supporters. Yes, they were
Oh,
they're
he got three
political
years for
prisoners.
trespassing.
Yes, they're political prisoners. Yes.
You know what
Right here in
trespassing
the
really
United
gets you?
States. Right here
Tres-
in your United States run by a fascist government. That's what
Well,
happens when you go up against a fascist government.
yeah,
You get railroaded. Yes.
trespassing usually gets you like 30 days in jail.
Usually, but not when you're a Trump supporter. You get persecuted when you're a Trump supporter.
Persecution.
Yes,
This is
political
the ultimate
persecution.
Christian
That's how you can tell the difference
panacea.
between a dictator and a good president like Trump. Trump did not lock
Sydney,
up
the
his
Christian
enemies. He did not put his enemies in jail and be for trespassing for 3 years. Your
Sydney, the
president did
Christian
that.
Sydney, the
Yeah.
Christians always proclaim persecution.
Well, they weren't even Christians. They just
They,
walked into the
no,
Capitol.
no, you always proclaim persecution. There's a
I
war.
didn't say they were
No,
persecuted for being a
no,
Christian.
no. Fox News says there's a war against Christmas because all the left is against Christmas, and the
Mm,
left or the leftists are declaring war against the right, and the right
yeah,
loves
that's true.
Christmas
Yeah.
because Christmas is a Jesus holiday.
Hmm.
Apparently, even though Jesus was not born on Christmas Day, Jesus
Yeah.
was born somewhere in fucking April, whatever. Uh,
Hmm.
and
No,
and and
yeah.
and then
No
and
one
then
claims that that's Jesus' birthday, FYI.
yeah, and then
No,
Fox
he was
News.
Yeah,
born.
no one claims Christmas is Jesus' birthday, so that was a
Well, and
moot
then
point.
He was
Fox
born in
News
the
is
winter
creating.
time, though, wasn't he? He would have had to be because why would have they have needed shelter in the manger if the weather was fine? You know what
Yeah,
I
but Fox News is creating this
mean?
false narrative. They're creating a false narrative where
But who
they
watches Fox News? Come on, that'd be
yeah,
ridiculous.
but they're appealing to the right
Nobody,
wing.
but nobody watches them. So what?
No, they
I do.
appealing to no, they
Well,
appealing
there
to
you go. They're appealing to they're preaching to the choir. So nothing,
they appealing to the
no
right
harm,
wing
no
religious.
harm done.
They appealing to the right wing religious people that believe in the nativity of Jesus.
So what?
They
Let them have the belief. Don't relax.
some of these right wing people, they actually set up
So
nativity scenes.
let them have their Christmas. Come on, what is the matter with
Yeah,
you?
they set up the nativity
Grinch.
scenes on their front lawn, and they say that this is
Exactly,
the time that
Grinch.
Jesus was born.
So what? Don't participate in Christmas,
It's
but
a
let them have
false
their Christmas
narrative,
for fuck's
Sydney.
sake.
I
It's a
personally
false
don't know.
narrative.
I personally don't know anyone who believes Jesus was born on Christmas or believes that's why we
Oh
celebrate
my God,
Christmas. But
Jill,
hey, you must be around some Catholics, Roman Catholics.
drive around your neighborhood at Christmas Day and see how many people have a fucking nativity scene on their
The
front lawn.
nativity scene does
Okay,
not determine the date of Jesus' birth. I can have a nativity scene of
I don't
Obama.
give a fuck, but
That
that's what they
doesn't mean
think
that
it
I believe
is.
Obama
No,
was
that's
born on
That's what they
tradition.
think it
President's
It's
is.
Day.
just
I can have a nativity scene of Lincoln in Washington on President's Day. It doesn't mean that Lincoln and
Nobody has
Washington
a
were born.
fucking
good
Well,
nobody
listen,
point.
has a
Yeah,
nativity
follow
scene.
the analogy. Follow
valid
the
point.
analogy.
Valid
Nobody
point.
Okay,
has
because
a nativity scene of
you're
Lincoln
making
on the fucking front
Iron,
lawns.
you're
iron.
making a lot of illogical statements. Okay, follow the
I am not
response.
being illogical right
Iron,
now.
iron.
Okay,
Let the guy talk. Come
just
on.
because you have a nativity scene doesn't mean that you're declaring that Jesus was born on the day that you have your nativity scene out on your front lawn.
Well,
Okay,
they are celebrating a
they're
fucking Roman.
celebrating the fact that he was born, not when he was born.
No, but they're celebrating a pagan holiday.
Okay, you can call it pagan. That's fine.
It is pagan.
Okay, that's fine. That's your opinion.
Okay, that's Romans.
What does pagan mean? What do you mean pagan holiday? What's it? How's it
What the
different from
fuck?
any? How's it different from any other holiday?
All
Well,
of the holidays are pagan.
pagan means non-Christian, according to Jill.
Oh, is that what it means?
Yeah,
No,
non-Christian.
that's not what pagan means.
Yeah.
What is
No,
Well, I tell you
according to
what. Let me
Jill.
ask Jill. You always. This is what when I get information from somebody's in the hangout about what somebody else who's in the hangout thinks, then I'd rather go to the source. Jill, you're the source. What's pagan? What do pagans believe?
Uh, something that is
Or what is a
a
pagan? I
worship
don't know.
or represents a false idol, a
You
false
said
god.
you said pagans are not non-Christians, right?
Well, you can have something that you're doing that's culturally, but not pagan. That's cultural, but not pagan. Like there are certain festivals that you can have that represent your culture, your Mexican culture, the Chinese culture,
Mm.
but in and of itself is not pagan, and it's not Christian as well. So you can have something that's pagan, that's not pagan, and also not Christian.
Okay, well that's way, way beyond me. I can't understand any of that shit.
Yeah.
To me it's all religion, and good luck to you.
Jill, let me ask you a question. In Mexico, since you mentioned Mexico, they have a festival called Cinco de Mayo, right?
Okay.
Do you know what Cinco de Mayo is?
I believe it's the 5th of May.
Yeah. So they have a festival. So what what part of the year or what season of the year is May?
I believe it's summertime, right?
Yeah. Thank
Okay.
you. So do you think that these pagan
No, it's not.
festivals,
It's springtime.
Spring,
well,
summer.
whatever, Sydney. So fuck up, man. You're destroying my narrative here. So it's a
I'm
springtime.
sorry.
It's sorry. It's a springtime. It's a
Mhm.
sign of renewal, right?
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
sign of renewal.
Yeah,
And then
that's the whole that comes from the sexual fertility cults, and it also comes from the pagan cultures who celebrated the seasonal or seasons, where they
okay,
celebrated what's called jeez, I can't remember the term, but they basically celebrated the
the equinoxes.
equinox. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, spring
So so
equinox.
so so Jill, let me ask you a question. When was Jesus crucified?
Who knows?
What do you mean? Who
33,
knows?
30 to anywhere from 30 to 33 to
No, no,
32.
no. Give me the season. Give me the season.
Well, we don't know.
Was he crucified in the
Uh,
winter?
Who knows? Probably not.
No. Was he crucified in the autumn?
Who knows?
Was he crucified in spring?
We don't know.
What do you mean we don't know?
The text, I don't think the text communicates such.
Okay, how many seasons are there?
Four.
What are the seasons?
I'm not. What's it's spring, fall, winter, summer, right?
Summer, right?
Yeah.
So Jesus was crucified, most likely in spring.
I have no idea.
Yeah, because what does the Bible say, Jill?
The scriptures doesn't care to tell us.
So the scriptures doesn't tell you when Jesus was crucified,
No,
and you rely on that.
it doesn't intend to tell me algebra either. So the scriptures intends to say what it intends to say. If it doesn't intend to say it, then who
Well,
cares?
I'm going to tell you that Jesus was most likely crucified at
Okay.
spring, right?
Hold that thought. I'll be right back.
Okay.
yeah, I'll go with spring. Why not?
Yeah, because what spring means, spring means rejuvenation, right?
Indeed.
And what happened to Jesus on the cross?
He suffered terribly, apparently.
He suffered terribly, and then what happened?
I forget. I didn't really. I kind of got bored before the end. I didn't really follow. So what happened?
He got rejuvenated.
No, he didn't. He died.
He died and he got rejuvenated. Did Jesus rise again?
No. Oh,
He
the
did.
imaginary Jesus? Yes.
So what happened? Did he get rejuvenated or not?
What do you mean? No, he didn't. Oh, you mean
He did.
oh, he was dead and then he got
Holy
rejuvenated
fuck!
into
Do you know
life?
what?
I have
Do you know
no
what the
idea.
word Do you know what the word rejuvenated means?
You mean, I guess, bringing somebody back to life from the dead?
That's the same fucking thing as resurrection.
I thought resurrection was going to heaven.
Resurrection is that's ascension. Resurrection is fucking rising from the dead. When you go to heaven, you ascend to heaven.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
So what happens in the spring? What happens in the spring with all the flowers and the trees? What happens to them?
All the birds and the bees are buzzing.
Yeah. And what happens in the spring when you look at the trees?
You see the leaves getting greener and
Yeah.
growing and stuff.
Right. Right. Do you see blossoms come out?
Oh, big time.
The
Yeah.
blossoms, right?
Oh, it's beautiful.
Right. Right. So what time of the year is that?
Same time that you mentioned.
Now I'm talking about the northern hemisphere. I don't care about the southern hemisphere.
You mentioned it. You mentioned the northern hemisphere.
Right. So then what is the sign of so that all these things come to life, right?
All these things come to life.
Yeah, so the flowers bloom,
Yeah, okay,
the
yeah,
leaves turn green.
yeah.
So what happens to Jesus on the cross?
Nothing, because there's no Jesus on the cross. It's seasons come
Sydney,
and seasons go.
Sydney, just follow the fucking narrative of the Bible, okay? Did Jesus get rejuvenated or resurrected?
I don't know.
Sydney, according to the story of the Bible,
Mm-hmm.
okay?
Yes.
Did Jesus get resurrected?
I don't know.
Oh my God, Sydney, you're so fucking deuce. You dunce.
Dude, you
You
haven't given me one definition of what rejuvenated means or resurrected means,
I
and
am asking you in the story of the Bible.
I'm asking you for the definitions from the
Oh my
story of the
fucking
Bible.
God.
Come on, man, give it to me.
Story. Have you read Sydney, have you read the book of Mark?
No,
Have you read the book of Matthew?
no.
Okay, forget Mark, because Mark doesn't talk about the resurrection. What does Matthew say
Well,
about
then
the
hold on.
resurrection?
Mark's the earlier one, so you can discount all the others. Let's talk. We can only use Mark, actually, if we're going to be talking about.
Well, no,
Yes, yeah.
Mark just says that
Let's
Jesus died, and that's
exactly,
it.
exactly. So that's all we should know, because all the other stuff that came afterwards, if Mark didn't mention them, then they didn't happen.
Yeah. So Matthew said that Jesus rose on the third day,
I just
right?
said you can throw away everything that came after Mark and just use Mark as your reference, as your scriptural reference. That's what I suggest. And I will read Mark and come back a little more armed for a discussion about Mark. But I've never really, concentrated on any one of them because they're really all just fiction. But in the context of taking the first one as being more, the earliest one, I should say, as being probably more the most accurate, which probably is, then I'm going to use Mark. I
Okay,
mean,
so
yeah, Mark.
what happens at the end of Matthew?
I don't know.
So you don't know
Hold on,
that
hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. I have a Bible here. I can actually tell you. So what happens at the end of Matthew? Let me tell you what happens at the end of Matthew. All right. So at the end of Matthew, we have. Okay, and be sure of this: I am with you always, even to the end of the age. That's the end of Matthew.
Okay, good. So that means that Jesus was crucified, right?
What?
Was
How,
Jesus crucified? Was Jesus crucified at the end of Matthew?
I don't know. Maybe like the last sentence. That's what I read. So hold
You're
on.
talking about his ascension.
No, hold on a second. I didn't go back. Maybe I should go back a little bit. Oh, there we go. Chapter 28, the resurrection. Early on Sunday morning, blah 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 blah. Yes, so there was there was a resurrection from the tomb, right? Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
there was a resurrection from the tomb,
right.
but I don't see anything about a rejuvenation, anything anywhere.
Well, Sidney, resurrection and rejuvenation is it's almost a synonym
So
for each
then
other.
why not just stick with resurrection? Why bring in
Okay, fine.
why muddy the waters or make things difficult?
No, the thing is,
Keep it simple. Keep it simple. If Jill was here, that's exactly what he would tell you.
I am using rejuvenation because of the nature aspect of it.
Okay, now what was it about Mark that you were so interested in? Me
Well,
getting
listen, what does juvia or uvia mean in Spanish or Latin?
Juvia, light, sun. I don't know.
No, it means new.
Are you sure?
Yeah, uvia means rain or snow or freshness or newness
Nah.
or whatever.
Hey, I
Uvia,
didn't realize
right?
that. I didn't realize that the Gospel of Mark is not really not. There's not much to it.
Okay, so let's
It's
go with
pretty short.
resurrection.
Okay,
Okay,
the resurrection in Mark. Yes, there is a resurrection thing section in
yeah.
Mark. It's your chapter 16.
So what happens in spring
Saturday
when
evening, when the Sabbath ended, Mary Magdalene, Mary the
yeah.
mother of James, and Salome went out and purchased burial spices so they could anoint Jesus' body. Sunday morning, just as they went to the tomb, on the way, they were asking each other, "Who will roll away the stone for us from the entrance to the tomb?" But as they arrived, they looked up and saw that the stone, which was very large, had already been rolled aside. When they entered the tomb, they saw a young man clothed in a white robe sitting on the right side. The women were shocked, but the angel said, "Don't be alarmed. You are looking for Jesus of Nazareth, who was crucified. He isn't here. He is risen from the dead. Look, this is where they laid his body. Now go and tell his disciples, including Peter, that Jesus is going ahead of you to Galilee. You will see him there just as he told you before he died." And it goes on from there. Oh, hold on. There's a little bit left. The women fled from the tomb, trembling and bewildered, and they said nothing to anyone because they were too frightened. Okay, that's Mark. Now, my question is, just after reading that, is how do we know anything about this if the women didn't tell anyone? They found it. They found it. There's a child sitting in the tomb to the right. Then an angel pops up and says, "Jesus is dead, but he'll meet you later somewhere. Tell the disciples he'll see them later." And then the women are so terrified that they decide not to tell anyone.
Okay, so
It
Sidney,
makes no sense.
so since you read that narrative,
Yes.
you should go to you should go to the book of Luke,
No,
right?
I told you. I told you. Jesus Christ, why don't you listen to me? We are only referring to Mark because Mark is the most reliable.
But that's not Mark. You didn't read Mark
I
though.
just read the end of Mark. Yes, I did.
No, that was Matthew.
That was it in the beginning, and then I went to Mark.
No, Matthew doesn't
Dude,
talk about.
I read the resurrection in Matthew, and then I read sorry, in Matthew I read the end of the resurrection. Did I read? No, I did. I read the whole resurrection in Matthew, and then a
Yeah.
whole resurrection in Mark.
No,
And
there's
then I
no
said to you,
resurrection.
that we're just going to concentrate on Mark because Mark is the earliest gospel and therefore the most reliable. We'll just not
Yeah.
worry about Luke or Matthew or John or anything like that. We'll just concentrate on the information we get from Mark. And as soon as I finished reading the end of Mark, you said you should look at Luke, which is what we're not going to do because we
Okay, fine.
discounted Luke.
Okay, fine.
So yeah, let's
So
carry on.
okay, fine. So
Yeah,
if you look at the end of Mark, right?
which I just read. Yes,
No, that's not the end of Mark.
that is the end of Mark.
I don't think so,
I,
man.
dude, I just read it to you. I have
Okay.
the New Living Translation here.
The end of Mark tells you about it doesn't go into the resurrection. It ends at when the woman discovered Jesus at the tomb, and then what happens is that Jesus tells the woman, "Tell no one. Don't go to anybody, right? And tell that I'm resurrected or whatever." That's the end of Mark.
Well, there's something here called the longer ending of Mark. Maybe that's what you're talking about. But
Yeah.
we'll just
Well,
go with the shorter ending because that again, it's the most reliable. And because it's the earliest. The shorter the addendum to the short the whatever they added on they came later. So we could discount that. We'll just use the original Mark.
okay, fine.
The shorter version, let's call it.
Okay, fine. So when if you look at the seasons of the year, right? And if you look at the narrative in Mark, that you would say that I would say that it would correspond with the spring season.
And your point being what?
Because obviously there was no coldness. Otherwise, people would describe being cold in the winter, right?
I don't know. The only part of
Yeah.
Mark I've read is verse 16 right now. I need
So
to read the whole
so
thing. It's not very long, so it won't take long.
yeah. So what I'm saying is that Jesus is just another narrative of spring renewal. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. Well said.
So, right. So when the sun goes through its phases or whatever, and it rises at May or April, it goes through it actually brings life back to the northern hemisphere, right?
Oh no, I have no
Yeah,
idea.
because the sun is tilted to because the Earth is tilted towards the sun, right? And as it goes around the sun, the Earth is tilted at a 23.5 degree angle towards the sun. So that is what creates our seasons, right? And that has been
I don't know, man.
and that has been around for 250,000 years. Okay, that's what's been going on, right? So if you look at the seasons, you will say that everything dies in the winter. We know that, except the evergreen trees, which is the Christmas tree, right?
No, everything
Which
doesn't.
is a
No,
pagan's.
no, nothing. People think things don't die; they just go dormant.
Right, but you have the evergreen tree which stays green even during the winter, right?
So
So what they did is they took the evergreen tree, they cut it off, and the pagans. This is what the pagans did, and they put it in the living room, and they said, "This is the sign of renewal, the coming renewal, when the equinox changes, and the year renews
listen, you
when
know what
it."
it is? It's any excuse for a party. That's what that. That's all it is.
Sidney, you're so elemental, man.
Elemental.
Elemental means he's so basic.
That makes me smart. If you ask
Yeah,
me.
but don't you see how the evergreen tree is a symbol of surviving the winter?
No,
You don't see that.
I do not.
So do evergreen trees survive the winter?
Of course they do. At least
Do evergreen
in the climates where they are allowed to survive the winter, they do. Yeah.
so evergreen trees stay green throughout the winter, is that right?
This is correct.
In
Or
in
actually,
the in the
I
north
think aren't they called deciduous trees?
in the northern hemisphere, right? So when you take an evergreen
So
tree,
what is your exact point
right?
here?
What I'm saying is that the evergreen tree is a symbol a renewal, because what happened is that whenever September or November or December rolled around, that's when the northern hemisphere went into a decline. There's winter. There's what's called inferno. Do you know what inferno is?
Fire?
Inferno is cold. It means death. It means hell, right?
In what language?
In every language. In Latin, inferno means hell.
That's what I said. I said inferno. It
Yeah.
sounds like
So
hell.
when
Sounds like fire. Sounds like
yeah,
heat. And you said
yeah,
no, it's cold.
yeah.
Crazy.
No, so in the ancient times, when winter came along, right, around the time of October, November, December, right, that's when the ancients believed that the earth was going into what's called hell, right?
I have no idea what you're talking about, dude.
Oh my God. Are you serious, man? Are you in the northern hemisphere?
I certainly am in the northern hemisphere.
Do you have winters every year?
Define
Do you
winter.
do you have winters? Huh?
I've always lived in a climate that has 4 seasons.
Oh my God, do you have snow?
No.
You don't have snow.
Yeah, well, for a couple of days maybe, but no, not really.
Okay, so that means you're closer to the equator then.
I'm in Vancouver, dude. What are you talking about? I'm,
Vancouver what? South Vancouver?
you're closer to the equator than we are. Look on the map. Look on the globe.
Well, I don't know, but the thing is though, when you experience winter, right? What is winter like for you? Is it like a hell?
I love winter. It's my best. I love winter. I love the cold. I hate the heat.
Yeah, but yeah, everything's frozen
No, it's
and
not. I said not here. I live in a temperate climate.
okay, fine, but over here in the eastern, everything's frozen, right?
But
It's almost like
I could care less.
okay, fine, Sydney, but it's almost like there's a hell when the freeze comes or when winter comes, it's like a symbol of hell, like when hell freezes over, right?
I have no idea, dude. Again, you've lost me.
Oh man,
You're losing me
I'm
a
just
lot.
saying. I'm just saying that there's a dichotomy between hell and light, right?
I
The sun.
I don't see it. I
Is
do
the earth
not. I do not see that at all.
is the earth a sphere?
It's very cool, somewhat. Yeah.
Are you a flat earther?
I could be if you convince me.
What do you mean?
Give me your best argument.
I'm not a flat earther. I'm not going to
Then
try and
what the fuck
convince
you
you.
bringing up flat Earth for?
No, but are you a flat?
Are you
Are
got?
you a flat
Are you?
earther? Because when you talk like a flat
I
earther.
okay. Yeah. All right. I'll take the position of a flat earther. I'm willing to take any position. I'll steel man the flat Earth position. Okay. Sure. If you want.
Well, if you have a flat earth, you can't go through seasons.
Nonsense. I could prove it. I can find a map to show you you're wrong.
So you can show me a map where according to your flat
That's
earth
right.
theory.
Look it up. Look it up. Flat Earth map. Weather.
Uh, I don't think so. That's not a real thing.
Well, you asked me to defend the flat Earth, and here I am doing it.
Okay. Does the sun go around the earth, or does the earth go around the sun?
In a real scenario, or in a flat Earth scenario.
In a real scenario.
Let's think. Let's think. I would say that the Earth goes around the sun in a real
So
scenario.
you're not a flat earther then.
Okay, you say so.
Yeah, I don't know.
Don't forget, I'm a moderator in this channel as well as an opinionated cunt. So I've got to find a middle ground.
Yeah, no. The thing is though that when you think about dichotomies, right? Night and day, fire and cold, and ice. Uh, whatever dichotomy you can come up with, there's also a positive. There's always a positive and a negative, right?
I don't think so.
Well, so what do you so when you think of positive, what do you think of?
Atheism. Atheist,
Okay,
atheist activism.
okay. So, but besides that, so when you look at the word positive or the plus sign or what what comes to your mind?
What comes to my mind when I see the word, when I see the plus sign? Whoa, that's a weird question because I see different signs all the time, and you're assuming that different things come to my mind whenever I see different signs. Maybe I didn't understand you. Could you re-ask that question? Because I have no idea what
Yeah,
it meant.
yeah. So we have a dichotomy, right? We know that we live in a universe that has a negative and positive altitudes, right?
No, I don't know. I don't know. I don't agree with whatever that means. I don't agree with it.
So what is in between positive and negative?
I don't know what you're talking about. It's like you're not making sense.
I'm talking about
Why are you
the laws
asking
of.
me questions? Rather just give me the answers, because you obviously I don't know, but you've
I'm
asked
talking
me.
about the laws of logic, right?
You've oh, are you now?
Yeah.
So why didn't you say so? Okay, what about the laws of logic? Tell me.
Well, the law of logic means that you can have there's three laws of logic.
Uh-huh.
The law of non-contradiction, right?
Correct. All right.
The law of excluded middle,
Oh, all right.
right?
All
And the
right.
law of I forget what the third one is.
The law of the excluded middle.
Uh, no, that's the second one. Excluded middle.
The
We have
second one is
contradiction, and then we have.
the law of identity is the first one.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, you
The
just
law
reminded me.
of
The third
contradiction
one is the law of
is the
identity,
second
right?
one. The law of contradiction is the
Yeah,
second one, and then the third one is the
is
law
the law
of
of identity.
excluded middle. Then the first one is the
No,
law of
no, no.
identity.
Oh my God. Can you stop for a second?
I'm reading them
The
out to you.
first, the first one is the law of identity. The second one is the law of excluded middle, and the third one is the law of non-contradiction, right?
All right, I'll accept that.
Okay. So if you have a true dichotomy, which is positive and negative, right?
Give me an example of what do you mean? Give me a real world example of what a positive and negative true dichotomy is, and I'll be able to follow along. But if you just say a dichotomy positive negative and say to me, right, you agree, you understand, right? No, well, no, I don't understand what you're talking about. So give me some more information.
Okay, so a true dichotomy would be like a magnet, right?
No, no, I don't understand what that means either.
Does a magnet have a positive pole?
A magnet has both positive and negative.
Yes,
Yes, what?
exactly. So positive and negative. I just told you that's a true dichotomy, right?
On a magnet?
Yeah.
No, they're just polar. They It's a polarity thing. It's not a dichotomy thing on a magnet. You know,
No,
the
but
laws of
it
magnetism actually apply to the magnet that you're talking about. not the laws of logic. Because a magnet is a magnet, and it passes the laws of logic. It fulfills law number one in that in that in that an object is what it is and a magnet
No,
is what it is.
no, it doesn't.
Oh, it doesn't, does it?
No, the law of magnetism is a true dichotomy. You either have a
Oh, now the
positive
law of
charge.
magnetism is a true dichotomy. Okay, explain to me this law of magnetism,
Well,
please.
it applies to the law of non-contradiction, right?
You're trolling me, you asshole.
I'm not trolling you. I'm
Yes,
not
you
trolling you.
are. Yeah, you are.
Does the positive side contradict the negative side in a magnet?
No,
It doesn't.
no.
Yeah.
There's
So
nothing.
the
There's
law.
no contradiction. There's no.
No,
There's no philosophy happening in a fucking magnet.
it doesn't matter. The philosophy has actually examined magnets and has determined that a magnet has a positive and a negative pole, which means that it actually abides by the law of non-contradiction.
No, it's still a magnet.
But
It's
they
like
don't contradict it. They kind of well they don't contradict each other though.
an object is an object, right? How can an object contradict itself? Please
Well,
explain to me how that is possible.
can an object have negative and positive particles?
Well, you know that all objects are made of, at the quantum level, of the same things, right? So at the quantum level, there's all sorts of things happening, and positive and negative, and positive spin, and I mean, an up spin, and down spin, and neutral spin, and God knows what. There's so many things happening in at the quantum level, that there's a lot of vibration, there's a lot of movement, there's a lot of energy in every single thing that you can imagine or think of that it actually exists.
Okay, so is magnetism certain?
Is it certain?
Is it certain? Yeah.
Well, yes, because there's a law of magnetism.
Okay. So if I take a magnet that has a north and south polarity, and I put a piece of metal or another magnet that is negatively charged to the positive polarity, what do you think is going to happen?
A magnet that is negatively charged to the
No,
positive
no,
polarity.
no,
That
no.
you just said that. Hold on, I'm trying to find. I'm trying to understand if what you said. You said the magnet that is negatively charged to the positive polarity. That is gobbledygook. It doesn't mean anything.
No. You misunderstood. A magnet that has two polarities. Okay.
Well, to
Have you
make up
seen
your
those?
mind. Make up your mind, dude.
No.
Every time you give me a sentence, I repeat it to you to make sure that I've understood it right, and you say no, no, and then you give me another sentence. So I don't get.
Okay.
I
I'm
don't.
I'm
That's
sorry.
why I think you're
Oh,
trolling me.
okay. I'm not trolling you. I'm sorry.
No, but
I
that's why
probably
I
didn't.
think you are, because you're playing this game.
Okay. If you look at a bar magnet, you know what a bar magnet is?
I don't have a clue.
A bar magnet is like a straight magnet that is separated by two lines. Oh, sorry, one line. The top of the magnet, it's a bar. It's like a solid bar of metal,
All
right?
right, yeah.
But the top bar has a northern polarity or N polarity, and the bottom has a south polarity or S polarity or negative.
Right,
So
they mark it with a paint blue and red or something.
yeah, so the N is positive, and the S is negative, right?
I don't know. I have no idea what you're talking about, man.
That's what a bar magnet is.
A bar
How the fuck?
magnet is a bar that has a magnetic field,
How the
correct?
fuck do you think compasses work? Jesus Christ! It's a fucking bar magnet, right?
Listen, I'm so confused that you have to move to the next topic.
Sorry, but this is what I'm thinking. Like, I mean, if you have, this is exactly where, when you turn your fridge on, or your motor, or your fan in your living room, or whatever. There's a motor going on, and these magnets are going around, and they're generating electricity, and they're going from negative to positive really fast, right?
I don't know. Again, like I say, I've said to you before, I don't know what you're talking about, and you haven't explained yourself yet. You just carry on to another question of that doesn't make sense, and then if you ask me, do I understand? I say no. You just instead of explaining, you ask me another question that doesn't make sense. So go.
Do you know how an electric motor
See
works?
what I mean? There you go.
No, I'm asking you. Do you know how an electric motor works?
What happened to magnetism?
That's exactly, the electric motor has magnetism in it. That's how it works. An electric motor produces a electric current, and it has solenoids in it, which actually gets charged when you turn the electric current on. And when you charge the solenoids, they become magnetic, and that means that the motor spins, right? Produces
I
energy.
as I understand it, it's you got your magnet, and then you wrap copper wire, I believe, around it.
Yeah, it's a solenoid,
Yeah,
right?
exactly, and that gives you that creates a magnetic field. Yeah. So
Yeah.
what's your I don't get it. What's your point?
So what I'm saying is that, like oh fuck, I forgot my fucking original point.
Oh, good, I win. Yeah.
Okay,
All right. What next?
fine.
What next?
No, I'm just saying that if you have a bar magnet, right?
Yeah.
Like, how do you explain the force between the bar magnet and something that makes it spin, or something that makes it turn?
That's
What is that?
you know what? To be honest with you, I've always asked the same question myself.
What is that force?
It's the force.
The force of what? Luke
It's
Skywalker
it's the
force?
force of May. The f-
The force of what?
the force of May.
Pi May?
Pi May?
Yeah.
Your headphones aren't very good.
So, do you think humans can tap into that force?
Humans can tap into that force, like plug your finger in and and be
No, no,
electrified.
like, no. Well, no. Do you think humans, being composed of electricity, right?
Humans are actually humans do have a magnetic uh, indicator.
Well, what do you mean by that?
Well, the chemicals what we're made out of is different things, right? And there is iron in our bodies,
Yeah.
as you know, and iron emits magnetism. Iron is magnetic, as you know.
Yeah. Well, no, no. Not all iron is magnetic. You have what's called ferrite iron, which is
Well,
magnetic.
we'll stick to the ferrous
Okay.
because that's what's on the periodic table of elements that I know about.
Yeah.
So ferrous, okay, that's magnetic all the time without fail. Correct?
Yeah. You also have neodymium magnets.
Never heard of that.
Neodymium is an element in the Earth's crust that's always magnetic.
Still never heard of it.
You haven't heard of neodymium magnets?
I have not.
You probably have some of on your fridge right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Do you have
Okay.
magnets on your fridge?
I do.
Some of them are probably neodymium.
All right, fair enough. Whatever that is.
If
It's
if they
okay. What?
if they're covered in like a silver coating or like a shiny coating, then they're probably neodymium.
Okay.
But if they're black, then they ferrite,
Got it.
right?
Yep.
So I mean, this is the thing I'm saying is that I think the universe is both electricity and magnetism combined.
But magnetism is where electricity comes from. So it can't be the cart before the horse.
Well, no, because if you look at the electricity and magnetism, it's actually a symbiotic relationship, like I said before.
All right. Well, you've confused the hell out of me
Well, the
today.
thing is, so if you spin something that's magnetic really fast, right? It produces electricity, doesn't it?
If you, I don't know. I have no idea, dude.
And if you actually produce electricity and push it into something that's non-magnetic, you can
Yeah.
actually make that thing magnetic, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's what's called the law of electromagnetism,
Oh, is that
right?
right, eh?
Yeah, this is what Faraday discovered.
Oh, okay.
Look up the electric motor.
I'm getting a science lesson here from you.
Yeah, well, it's a balance, right? It's a balance. It's like a true dichotomy, right? Like that. This is exactly what the energy problem that the scientists are trying to figure out today, whether it be fusion or fission or whatever, right? They want to discover the balance between electricity and magnetism, right?
Fine.
They want to use magnetism to actually produce electricity at an efficient level, but the electricity that produces that magnetism, it's not, it's inefficient. You know what I mean?
No, not a clue.
Right.